11, verse 13. So we go to Im Shema, which is the second paragraph of the Ten Commandments. Actually, on Shabbos, I'm going to give like a little mini shir on Shabbos morning. I saw these points in this book that was dedicated in memory of Eliezer Moshe Zimba Zichrono Livracha Hashem Yimkom Damo. He was killed on June 15th. They produced a Tehillim with Mariv, and there's a commentary that I never saw before that the Shema contains within it all the 10 commandments, and they go through it, and I'll show it, and several of them are in the second paragraph, and I'll go through that with everybody on Shabbos morning. It'll just take us 5 minutes, so it'll be very powerful to have the proper kavanah. But first, in order to get to that stage, we first have to read the Vayam Shemoah with the Rashi. So it says, chapter 11, verse 13, Vayam Shemoah tishmu mitzvotai asher anochi mitzavet etchem hayom. If it will be that if listening, you will listen to my commandments, that asher anochi mitzavet etchem hayom, that I am commanding you today, ahavat Hashem Elokechem, to love Hashem your God, u'avdo b'chol vavchem u'b'chol nafshechem, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So what does this mean? Vayam Shemoah, Rashi says, Vaya, the word, and it will be, goes back, Musav refers back to that which was said above, L'matara shamayim tishtem mayim. By the rain of heavens, it drinks water. Meaning to say, if listening, you will listen, then I will give you the rain of your land. But if not, then I will restrain the heavens. Vatzarat hashamayim. Vayam Shemoah tishme'u. So this is a Rashi. Rashi says, Im Shemoah biyashan, if there is listening to the old, tishme'u chadash. Meaning to say, the idea is, if you review that which you have studied, you will gain new insights. If you listen to the old, you'll learn something new. Everybody loves to just read new things, but the most important thing is to review that which you've already studied. That's why I try to do each daf 4 times. When I was traveling and I didn't get to do it, I feel like I didn't even do those dafs, even though I studied them. If you don't study them again, chazara, we don't get it. At least I don't. If you've begun to forget, you're going to forget everything. The only way to remember everything is to review it. That's why I don't feel bad that we review the Rashis every year. I forgot this Rashi. Now that I'm reviewing it, I'm remembering it. And it's written b'Megillat Chasidim. What's Megillat Chasidim? This is an ancient work that predates the Talmud, no longer extant. Rashi is quoting it. Im ta'azveni yom yomayim ezvekta. This is one of the most true statements ever. The statement is, if you abandon me for 1 day, then I will abandon you for 2 days. What does that mean? If you abandon me for 1 day, I'll abandon you for 2 days. It means as follows, that if you are studying every day, well, let's say you work out. Let's say you work out every day. I'll do it in like a very prosaic example. If you work out every day, then and you don't work out for 1 day, it takes 2 days to get back. Obviously, maybe you're not supposed to do the same workout every day. Let's say you don't work out for a week. It takes you 2 weeks to get back to the level you were at. And the reason is because you walk away let's say you're with a person. If you go 1 day in east, that person doesn't just stay there. They go 1 day to the west. So it'll take you 2 days to get back to that person. So of course, that's the relationship with Torah study. If you abandon the Torah study for 1 day, it's going to take you twice as long to get back, not just 1 day. And this is why we have to study every day, and we can't get it. That's why the Daf Yomi was one of the greatest educational innovations in Jewish history, but it's not the first one. It's not the first attempt to say that you have to do daily study. One of the earliest is what we're doing here, which is Shnayim Mikra V'Yachad Targum, reading the verses with the translation. Okay, we're not reading the Onkelos, but we're reading the Rashi. And it's a basic idea that every day you have to study in order to know what a Jew is supposed to know. In American Jewish adult education kind of went away from that. They try to give like lectures, but the real way to be Jew is supposed to be spiritually is daily study as part of a curriculum. Yeah, Kiva. Right, that's maybe we should be reading Torah out loud every day. So there's just a communal reading that's 3 times a week. But the daily wasn't it instituted every day? Well, we have it every day as part of our davening. There are parts of Torah study. We Eud Varam She'elam Shiur. We say Mishnah. We start a Torah study. That's why, yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's the idea. So these are the things that I command you today. Sheyu alechem chadashim, that they should be as new to you. Kilu shamatem bo bayom. These things that I'm commanding to you, it should be as though you're commanded this day. You know, our Jill Sachs, she told me that when she was newly married, the rabbi who she and her husband met was a very special man named Rabbi Kosman. And when she met and they hadn't never put up a sukkah before. So he taught them how to put up a sukkah. And when they were putting up the sukkah, they're about to go in, he said, "Oh, I wish I was putting up my first sukkah." What is the meaning? The meaning is that when you do a mitzvah for the first time, you have this freshness and exciting, like you've never done it before, you're so excited. But the real thing is, every day that you do it has to be as though you're fulfilling it for the first time. The mitzvah should never become a matter of routine. Right, Elon? Right. It should never be a matter of routine. And this, if you listen to that which I command you today, to love Hashem your God and to serve Him. What is la'avat Hashem? And you shouldn't say, "Harei ani lomed b'shvil asher." I'm going to study so that I'll be rich. Why would you be rich by studying? Because the Jewish community will support me. I'll be rich because I'll be a scholar and they'll give me a full professorship, or Torah is Torah, that if I study, they'll take care of me. No, that's a terrible reason to study. Or b'shvil she'eker rab. Okay, I'll study so that I can be called a rabbi. Rav Aaron Kotler said, a yeshiva is not for rabbis, meaning to say that the yeshiva is a place to study. It's not a rabbinical school. It's not a vocational school. Or b'shvil shekabel schar, or so that I'll receive reward. That's not what you should do. Ela kol ma she'ta'aseh aseh me'ava v'sofa kavod lavo. Everything that you do, you should do out of love, and in the end, you'll have honor. Do it out of love, and in the end, you'll have honor. So, okay, what does it mean? All right, and now how shall you serve your God? Greg, we're in chapter 11, verse 13, the second paragraph of the Shema. You have to serve God with all your heart. What does this mean? Avodah she'ibalev. What is the service of the heart? What's the service of the heart? What's the service of the heart? This is such a beautiful idea. If you don't know it, you have to know it. What's the service of the heart? Exactly. Zuit. Your God whom you constantly serve. So the temple service in Babylon? Of course not. But this was said to Daniel because he would pray. And he had windows open in his upper story in the direction of Jerusalem. And 3 times a day, he would kneel on his knees and pray and give thanks before God. So prayer is called the service. Prayer is called the service of the heart. And so it says when you serve God with all your heart, what does that mean? It means you pray to God. So if you, what? Right. So So that is not here. B'chol modecha is only in the first paragraph. So there's a lot of, we discussed that actually at length in Parashat last week about why modecha is only in the first paragraph of the Shema, not the second paragraph. There were several answers which we gave last time, which we have to review. Going back, it's like we said, we have to review. One of the ideas is that maybe it's included in the Gutzker said it's included in the other categories, but we have to review it. I don't want to give it offhand. You have to serve God with all your heart and with all your soul, but didn't already tell us here. Now it's bugging me, so I want to get the answer here. I'll get it there, but I'll get it in a moment. First, let me do this last Rashi. Didn't it already tell us with all your heart and with all your soul? So why does it say it again? So the idea is, this is one of the answers I can tell you. Because here it's said in the plural and there it was said in the singular. So when it comes to the community, this is what I think the Kotzker said. When it comes to the community money is a matter of life and death. The community, but your own personal money, that's not a matter of life and death. So we needed a separate category. But he says your heart and your soul, so that includes the community's money because it's said in the plural here. That's what the answer that I was referring to. That's one of the answers. So it says, didn't already tell us with all your heart and with all your soul. So there in the first paragraph is a warning for the individual, and here is a warning for the community. Okay. That's why it doesn't have the modecha here. That's the difference. We're chapter 11, verse 14. You have the page? 1009. And I will give to you the rain on your land in its proper time. Remember what the proper time is? We'll see in a moment. Yorel Malkosh, these are the different types of rains. And you'll gather in your grain, your wine, and your oil. What does Rashi say? And I'll give to you the rain. I will do, if you do what you do your job, God says, I'll do my job. Asita masha alechem afani aseh masha alai. If you do your job, I'll do my job. Beito in its proper time. What's the proper time for it to rain? Anybody know? Yeah, but that you're correct, but then Rashi gives a different answer here. But you're correct. Balelot is at night, so that it shouldn't be a bother to you, because you want to go out during the day to work in your field. If it's raining, you can't work. Alternatively, Beito, when's the best time for it to rain? Belel Shabbat, so it's Friday night. Shakom Mitzuyim Bebateim, because everybody's in their homes. You don't want it to rain during the week when then it's annoying because you're trying to get to work, commute. Shabbos, Friday night, everybody's in their home. You got a good Friday night, so it rains. That's another proof. Now, one of the things I said when I said at some point in my rabbinate, I was a pulpit rabbi for 25 years. At some point, I said, a Jew is not supposed to go out of their house on Friday night to go to Shalom Zachars. It says right here in the Rashi, you're all found in your homes on Friday nights. So the Shalom Zachar, I think, is very hard for rabbis to do, to go starting around going to parties on Friday night, especially like in a community where there's a lot of Shalom Zachar. Yeah. Shalom Zachar. So there are certain practices of doing different parties the night before a bris in other communities, but the Ashkenazi custom is to do a party on Friday night, the Friday night before a bris, or the first Friday night that after the boy is born. Then people started getting upset. Why are you doing it for a boy and not a girl? So they started doing a party for a girl too. You should be going in the other direction. Okay, the Yoreh and the Malkosh. What's the Yoreh? The Yoreh is it's the rain that falls down after the sowing. Shema ves aretz ves azram. It supports the land and its seeds. And the Malkosh, this is the later rain. This falls right before the harvest, and this fills out the grain in its stalk. That's the rain right before you harvest it, and it helps the It helps make the grain fuller. But there's a problem for the matzah. You want it to be very, very dry. So the Hasidim, do you know what they do? Because if they harvested in Maryland, they used to go to Maryland, but it's sometimes too moist. So you know where they go to harvest? They fly out to Arizona to make sure it's dry enough to harvest it there. Yeah. Davar acher, alternatively, why is it called Malkosh? Sheyored al Molilos, caution, because it goes down on the ripe ears of grain and on the stalks. So it says, and if you do this, you will gather the grain and your wine and your oil. By the way, all this is what you should have in mind when you're reading the Shema. You have to read the words. You have to know what they're saying. So we have to know what the Rashi is saying. And you shall gather it into your home, below not your enemies. Meaning to say, the enemies will not gather in. You'll be gathering it in. As it states, I will not again give your grain as food for your enemies, because those who bring it in shall eat it. Okay. Next pasuk. And I will give grass in your field to your animals, and you will eat it and be satisfied. I will give grass in your field to your animals, and you'll eat it and be satisfied. Rashi says, you won't have to take your animals into the wilderness to graze. Or alternatively, you will cut your you will cut your crops all through the rainy season, and you will throw it before your animals, and you will withhold your hand from it. You will not cut your crops 30 days before the harvest, yet your field will be the same as if you hadn't fed them. Okay. And you'll eat and be satisfied. Rashi says, this is a total different blessing. This is the blessing of having enough, of being satisfied. That when you eat the bread, you'll be full and nourished. Some people are always hungry. By the way, you know how you stop being hungry? You know the trick to not being hungry? No, I don't take them. But the trick I'm not saying you shouldn't take them. I don't take them. But if you don't eat, then you don't get hungry. After a while, like after a few days of limiting your food, the less you eat, the less hungry you are. Yeah, that's a true scientific fact. The more carbs you eat, the more it creates a desire and makes you crave it. Well, Moshe and Ezra and I are planking every morning. Kobe and Elon dip out before the planking. Why aren't you joining us for the planking in the mornings? Yeah, we plank every morning after davening. No. That's like you breathed in the morning. We exercise every day after the davening. Right? I'm sure you're way better at it than me. It's not about being the best. It's about getting in the routine. That's the point. Yeah, but I'm sure you're in very good shape, Elon. You take very good care of yourself. No, I'm not in good shape, but it's important to me to try to be in shape. It's important to me that for my spirituality that I take care of my body, and the healthier lifestyle you live, you strive to live a healthy lifestyle, the closer you'll be with God. It's a whole thing. You can't just be close to God in one aspect. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to lead a spiritual life when I'm in the yeshiva studying Torah. It has to be a holistic lifestyle where your whole life is about serving Hashem and everything is integrated. And that's why I try to take care of my body, because I feel like I'll be a better Jew, I'll be healthier, I'll have more energy to serve Hashem. That's the entire reason. Yeah. I believe it is. I believe it's a mitzvah to exercise. Hashem gives us our body on loan. He gives us our body on loan. And so therefore, when we come back to him, if we don't take care of our body, he's going to say, I gave you, if your friend lent you a car and you brought it back looking like garbage, he'd say, I gave you this beautiful thing and you brought it back to me like garbage. So it's a mitzvah to take care of our bodies, because the better shape we're in, the better we're able to serve God. So yes, it bothers me when I see a person doesn't invest the energy in trying to be in better fit, better shape, because it's all about serving God. Just Ramosha is not the best example to give, because about smoking, he gave a lot of different rulings. The more information he kept having, he never actually straight out prohibited it, because they had incomplete information. Doctors used to smoke in the office. I mean, but the whole idea is, yeah, it's absolutely prohibited to smoke. I've said this before. You shouldn't smoke. You shouldn't vape. And probably the most important thing you could do as a Jew is try to get off of that, because you're not taking care of your body, and God gives you your body to take care of, and you're going to be hurting yourself, and you're not allowed to hurt yourself. Yeah, to be a good Jew means to respect what God has given you. God created us with so much love, and by treating our body in a reckless manner, we're rejecting that love. So if you smoke, I obviously still love you, but I encourage you, please. It's not going to get any easier to get off of it. It won't get easier. It'll just get harder and harder and harder. And also, it's such a colossal waste of your money. It's so expensive, and it makes you. There's so many side effects to it, other than lung cancer, which people don't realize that. Well, a lot of people are careful nowadays to not smoke around other people. But it's smoking and vaping. These are very dangerous, reckless activities. That's, by the way, you say, do you take the pill? I don't take it anyway, because I'm not saying people shouldn't. People should listen to their doctor, but I'm not just going to run into put something in my body. That I'd rather do it the way, like the natural way of trying to work on myself, just to serve Hashem better. That's the idea. And now we got into the bread will be inside your stomach, and you'll have satisfaction. Yeah. I'm not talking about depriving yourself of things. I'm just talking about living a holistic lifestyle. To be a good Jew means to live a holistic lifestyle. It's very important. Okay. Hishamru lachem pen. You shall be careful. Do not let your heart be seduced, turn astray, and serve other gods and bow down to them. Zakta Rashi, be careful. Since you'll be eating and be full, you have to be careful that you don't kick. Person does not rebel against God, ela mitoch sevia, except as a result of being satisfied or fully sated. When do we rebel against God? When we're fully satisfied. So you have to be careful. I'm going to be giving you all these blessings, so don't abuse them. As it states in the Haftorah, it says, Pen tochal v'savativ v'karchav v'tochal yir bayun. Ma'u omer achar. What did it say afterwards? V'ramu v'avcha v'shachachta. This is what it said. You're going to, not in the Haftorah, earlier in our parsha, it says, you'll see this and you'll be exalted, and you'll say, I did this. You're going to think you did this because you have so much. Okay, we have to stop here. So we'll stop here, and God willing, pick this up. Oh, wait, let me just say to everybody before we go anywhere else. I said this at the beginning.